Turn around, hands behind your back. That's what he said. No greeting, no hesitation, just that. And I'm standing there in a black suit at my little brother's funeral next to a flag-draped casket, wondering if I heard him right. A cop in front of 50 people handcuffing me at a military cemetery, calling me a suspicious black male. Yeah, that happened. My name's Marcus Reed. I'm 39, retired Air Force Master Sergeant, 3 tours in Afghanistan, 3 Purple Hearts, 1 Bronze Star with Valor. These days I work as a trauma counselor, helping veterans carry the weight they brought home. I thought I'd seen everything war could do to a man until that day showed me what home could still do to you. 3 days before the funeral, 2 officers in dress blues knocked on my door at 6 in the morning. You don't need them to say it, you know when it's bad news. My little brother Tyler, 23, killed by an IED outside Al-Hasaka. My mom, Evelyn, already awake, just stood there gripping the counter while I read the report. 2 sons I sent, 1 comes back, she said, and I swear the room stopped breathing. We didn't cry, not then. Military families get good at compartmentalizing. We went straight into planning mode, funeral uniform, music, flag. Everything had to be perfect because that's the only thing left you can control. November 12th was cold but clear. Westbridge Memorial Park, Summit Ridge County. 50 guests, honor guard, chaplain, rifles ready. My mom pinned Tyler's dog tags to her collar. She didn't say a word, but her hand never stopped shaking. I stood behind her, trying to keep it together. The bugler started playing taps, and I remember thinking, at least here we're safe. Just for today, the world will let us mourn in peace. That's when I heard the crunch of tires on gravel. A county cruiser rolled up slow like it owned the place. Out stepped this guy, Officer Bradley Keller, buzz-cut sunglasses, hand resting near his weapon. The kind of man who walks like he's already decided who's guilty. He scans the crowd and comes straight for me. Doesn't talk to the chaplain, doesn't check with the coordinator, just stops behind me so close I can smell stale coffee and aftershave. Sir, I need to see some identification. I turned confused. Officer, this is my brother's funeral. He says I understand that, but we received a call about a suspicious black male, possibly armed, loitering near the cemetery. You could have heard a pin drop. I said suspicious based on what? He looks down at his notepad and repeats, Sir, I need to verify who you are. My mom's hand clenched tighter around the flag. The chaplain froze mid-prayer. I told him calmly, You have got to be kidding me. But he wasn't. He demanded ID right there. So I reached slowly, very slowly, into my jacket. I'm getting my wallet, I said, because I've seen how fast things can go wrong for men who look like me. He took it, glanced at my license, and without even blinking said, Turn around. Hands behind your back. You're being detained as a suspicious black male. Every single person stopped moving. My mom gasped. I heard the honor guard whisper, You're kidding me. And just like that, phones came out. 8 cameras, 12:15. I knew I could fight it, demand a supervisor pull rank, but I also knew how those stories end. So I did what every survival instinct screamed at me to do. I turned around, put my hands behind my back, and felt the cold metal bite my wrists while my mother sobbed. Please, not today. Keller didn't even look at her. Ma'am, step back or I'll detain you too. He dragged me toward his cruiser, gravel crunching under our feet, the rifles still smoking from the salute. I asked him, What am I being charged with? He said, You'll find out at the station. I said, My brother died for this country, and you're arresting me at his funeral. He said, Keep moving. And then it happened. My jacket caught on the car door, pulled open just enough to reveal the medals pinned underneath. 3 Purple Hearts, Bronze Star with Valor, a row of ribbons that caught the sunlight like fire. Keller froze. His hand dropped from my arm. The crowd went silent. A retired colonel from the honor guard stepped forward, his voice sharp as glass. Officer, do you have any idea who you just cuffed, Keller? Said nothing. His face went blank. No apology, no shock, just a man realizing the camera lenses weren't on his side anymore. He reached into his pocket, unlocked the cuffs, and stepped back. You're free to go, he said. Like that, erased what he'd just done. Then he turned, walked to his car, and drove away at the speed limit like this was another routine call. You ever feel your dignity leave your body? That's what it felt like. The only thing that saved me from being booked was proof I'd bled for this country. I didn't get to be innocent, I just got to be decorated. And that thought, it burned. Because what about the men who didn't come home with medals? What happens when the next Keller stops them and there's no ribbon to make him hesitate, you know what I mean? That video went online 26 minutes later. By dinner, 200,000 views. By midnight, 2 million. Every station in the state ran it. Headline read, "Decorated veteran handcuffed at brother's funeral." My phone blew up with texts, emails, interview requests, half the country furious, half waiting for more facts. I ignored all of it. I just sat with my mom in that quiet living room where we'd gotten the knock 3 days earlier. She fell asleep in her chair holding the folded flag like it was an anchor. Then one email caught my eye, from a reporter named Jenna Ortiz. "Mr. Reed, I'm sorry for your loss, but I need you to know this wasn't the first time. Officer Keller has been accused of racial profiling 11 times in 16 years. Not one resulted in discipline. If you're ready to talk, I'm ready to help." That's when I realized it wasn't about one bad cop. It was a system. We met the next day. She brought me a folder thicker than my service record. Internal memos, complaint logs, patrol reports. Every single complaint against Keller marked unfounded or insufficient evidence. You could copy and paste the excuses. He'd skipped mandatory bias training 4 out of 5 years. His supervisor signed off every time, citing operational needs. Then she showed me the numbers. 74% of his stops were Black or Latino men, in zones where that population was barely a third. And most of those stops around veteran facilities, VA hospitals, memorial parks, cemeteries. Like he was hunting the people who served. And here's the kicker. There was a secret quota system. I saw the emails. Officers below 12 arrests per month may face review. Focus on high traction areas. Guess who they sent to those high traction areas? Guess who exceeded his quota every month and got praised for it? I felt sick. It wasn't about safety. It was about numbers. Jenna connected me with a civil rights lawyer named Daniel Price. Calm, patient, but you could feel the steel under his voice. He said, "We're filing a federal lawsuit, section 1983, unlawful detention, racial discrimination under color of law. We'll request the body cam, the dispatch logs, the works. They'll try to bury you under paperwork and fear, but if you're ready, we'll fight." I said, "Let's fight." And then, like clockwork, the machine fought back. Someone filed a complaint with the state licensing board claiming I'd misrepresented my counseling credentials. Totally false, but it forced an investigation. Couldn't take new clients. Then the IRS sent a routine audit. My mom ended up in the ER with chest pains, stress-induced, the doctor said. She needs to rest. But she looked at me, eyes glassy, and whispered, "Don't stop, Marcus. What I can't survive is knowing he's still out there doing this to someone else." Yeah, that broke me a little. Then came the message that changed everything. "Meet me tomorrow. Botanical Gardens, 2 p.m. Come alone." It was from Captain Laura Bennett, Internal Affairs. She met me in civilian clothes, handed me a thick envelope, and said, "My son's a Marine. Keller did this to him too. Use this. I'm done protecting a system that protects him." Inside were internal emails proving the quota system was real. Keller's supervisor praising him for outstanding performance metrics. Bennett's own report from months before warning about racial bias ignored with the line, "Stop patterns alone do not establish discriminatory intent." And then, a smoking gun. An email chain between the sheriff's union president and the district attorney's office. If Reed continues to make noise, apply pressure, license, board tax audit, anything to encourage cooperation. They planned it, they admitted it in writing, and they still thought they'd get away with it. We didn't let them. Jenna published every document, every name, every quote. The story blew up nationally, CNN, NPR, AP. The county board called an emergency hearing. Veterans lined the streets in uniform, holding photos of themselves in service beside their driver's licenses. Silent protest. Cameras everywhere. I testified first. No notes, just truth. My name is Marcus Reed, Master Sergeant, U.S. Air Force, retired. On November 12th, I was handcuffed at my brother's funeral because I fit a description. The only reason I walked away free was because my medals made me harder to dismiss. So my question is, what happens to the man without medals? What happens to the citizen who still deserves dignity? The room went dead quiet. My mom sat front row clutching Tyler's flag. When I finished, she smiled through tears and whispered, "He'd be proud of you." Captain Bennett testified next, confirming the quotas. More veterans came forward. Keller didn't show his lawyer read a statement about anti-police sentiment. The board voted 4-1 to suspend him without pay, kill the quotas, enforce mandatory body cams, and hand the case to the state attorney general. For the first time, it felt like accountability, not just damage control. A few months later, Keller was gone, officially fired for falsifying reports and conduct unbecoming. His supervisor reassigned. The DA who conspired to silence me resigned. The union president under federal investigation for kickbacks tied to those quotas. The state found 81 arrests tied to illegal metrics, some already overturned. My counseling license cleared. IRS found nothing. My practice grew. Veterans started calling saying, "Man, I saw what you did. You're the kind of person I can talk to." My mom's health stabilized. She still brings that folded flag to town meetings and sits right in the front row. Every Sunday I visit Tyler's grave. I tell him where we're at, how the department's changing policies, how people finally said enough. I stand there in the cold jacket clothes this time, medals underneath where no one can see them because I don't need to prove anything anymore. Not to them. But listen, medals shouldn't be the difference between freedom and handcuffs. Respect shouldn't depend on proof you've bled enough. Justice shouldn't need a camera rolling to exist. I didn't fight this battle because I wanted revenge. I fought it because somewhere out there there's another Keller, another family, another funeral, and maybe, just maybe because of what we did, that one will end differently. So tell me in the comments, what do you think? Did that cop let me go because he respected my service or because he realized how bad it would look on video? And deeper than that, if I didn't have medals under my jacket, if I was just another black man standing at a grave, do you think I'd be here telling you this story right now? Drop your thoughts below. Share your own stories. If you've lived something like this, and if you believe these stories need to be told, subscribe, because we're not done yet.